Welcome all. Bernie here from EWPRO. Looking at the DXY on the daily, nothing's changed. We're just really looking for this 333 or 335 in here before we get a larger C down. H4, we started to get a correction now. It may be over. Um, we got a nice looking correction in here as it looks like a flat. Oh, 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 this is not starting off well. But yeah, we got a larger correction, so I'd be looking at something like this as a flat in here. You got a nice impulse up in here. If you get a bullish set up in here, you could look to buy to go and break the top. AU, nothing's really changed either. We're looking for this larger correction for 333 or 335 complex correction in here as well before we get that C up on the daily. Um, we don't really have a correction here yet on the H4. It's just one move down. This is still looking rather bearish. I thought it may have went um, from here. I was looking for it to go from here, and we were looking at the flat. It didn't quite come down and break the low. It gave like three down in here, and I was thinking this correction in here. I gave that a go. It just come up, break the top, and fell over again. Um, so yeah, it's more corrective than anything. I believe even with the bad non-farm payroll numbers, AU just didn't make any ground. There's really not much on it at all. I mean, the only thing I'd be looking at now is like you got three up. If I just take all these off, that was during the week, but now we have like three up in here. An impulse down. So if this looked corrective, you could give it a go sell to break the low, and then if you got a nice impulse up, a correction, then you could look for a buy again. But yeah, GU, we're looking for this larger C down to finish off this B wave. H4, we do have three down here now. You know, I'd be looking at this as some sort of an A, very choppy B, C up in here, flat, running flat, and then you get an A, B, C. You have that bullish divergence there too. I dare say there's a bear hidden on the lower time frames. M30, we've got a bear hidden here, so you've got to be careful. This is some sort of an A, B, C in here. And then you get one, two, three, four, fifth one down with a bear hidden there. So be careful with the buys at this stage. You could try and scalp the sell. If you got a nice correction in here Monday, Tuesday, you could look to sell to break that low. Um, or you just wait until the low's broken with this, get a nice impulse up and a buy set up, and then you could look to buy for at least three up. EU, nothing's changed. We're looking for this C down. H4, we're looking for a correction. We're starting to get that correction now. It's been very difficult to trade though. Sort of looking this here. We get an A, B, C up. Really, at this stage, it's very similar to AU. You can really only sell this at this stage. The way I teach to trade, you can really only sell this, and of course, I can't go into that too much. But if we have a look on the lower time frames, I'd be looking at this impulse here, and looking for a correction in here to sell for at least three down. You know, if you don't get this correction, of course you're not going to look for the sell. You don't get the sell. If this shoots up here and gives you a buy setup, well, you can look for a three up, and then it may turn into some sort of a flat, a regular flat, and then you get more upside. But yeah, at this stage, if we got a sell in here, that's what I'd be looking for to trade that a C down, at least a C down. NU, we're looking for that 333 or 335 complex correction on this as well. So we get an A, looking for a B and a C down in here to finish off that B wave, and then we get the larger C up. We got the 5 up on the H4. We got a nice impulse down. So again, I'm waiting for that larger correction to sell for at least three down. GY, I'm looking for this flat in here. If you go back through, well, the last few weeks, I've been looking for this flat in here. We've got a nice impulse down on the daily, so I'm looking for a B wave and then a C down. Oh, yeah, yeah. Um, but in here, I don't believe the correction is over, like I've mentioned. Um, in previous videos, I'm looking for an A, B, and we may have that C now. It's not as deep as I would have liked. I would have liked to come down to this 100 fib here. Well, closer to that 100 fib, and then go, and then we could look at that as the flat, and then we get like a W, X, Y, X to Z up as a complex correction, and then we can look to sell. So we do actually have a ball hidden on this time frame too in here. It's not valid to trade, but I wouldn't be surprised if that top goes and gets broken. Um, you can also, well, mm, you can't. I mean, you can sell this if you get a nice setup, but you really haven't got a nice setup. I'll just remove this. I mean, we could have sold this if this looked very corrective for three down to that 100 fib, but this is looking rather. It's going up just as quick as it came down. So, yeah, if you got a bullish setup, you could look at that flat that I was just showed on the higher time frame to go and break the top, or you pretty much, well, I mean, if you get three up in here, then I'd be looking for a even smaller flat, something in here, so you could, scalp it over here, look for a sell, or you know, um, but yeah, there's really nothing on it at this stage. GY, sorry, UY, USD Japan. I was looking at this flat here. We got this nice impulse down from the top, all that bearish divergence on the daily. Um, Looking at this last piece in here, I've been saying it's pretty much gone too far for this flat. Um, so we've been looking at this H4 for direction, and like I mentioned last week, looking for an X2, sorry, a wave four and then a wave five up. So stuff from there. You have to wait for this time factor. You have to wait for at least a correction that's a similar size to this over here before I'd even look to buy. if you're looking to buy over here, well, yeah, it's really just scalping, just scalping to break the top, scalping buys to break the top, basically. UCAD on the daily, it's just about broken this top here now. Like, I mean, I've gone over this many times before. We got one, two, three, four. I was looking for that fifth one up. Instead, we got that very large, drawn out correction. It's really on the lower time frames. Well, it's on the, we were looking at it last week on the H1, five up. But even on the H4, you know, we got three down in here. I won't go over the whole lot. We got three down in here. We got a nice impulse up. So, you can wait for a nice 50 fib retracement of this, and look for a buy again. But I would only do that if this top doesn't get broken. The daily top. My internet's still slow, as per usual. As long as that top doesn't get broken before it gives a correction. If it gives a correction here now before that top's been broken, well then I'd look for another one. But if that daily top gets broken, well I'd start to leave it alone. Um, well, not leave it alone, but then I'd be more cautious in making sure that it is definitely corrected for more upside. H1, you know, I've got five up in here. Not sure why the got one, two, three, four, five up. It's very choppy at the end here, and we're getting a lot of bearish divergence. So I'm not looking for buys. I'm more interested in a sell, selling into that correction, you know. And if that daily top gets broken, well, then even better. It can really fall over then if that top gets broken. USD Swiss franc, we got an A. I'm looking at a B and a C up. The thing I've been looking at on the lower time frames is this in here, a possible flat in there. If I go down to the H4, been looking at this flat. It did get hit this 100 fib, like in this A, B, C. It's gone sideways and broken out. Um, so I'm still looking at it as a flat because we got one, two, three, four, five. We lost that bullish divergence here. So I was just looking for a larger correction and possibly more downside for one, two, three, and then we get an A, B, C, larger flat before we get more downside. So, you could scalp this long. It's broken above that 100 now. You can see price action's been testing this 100 fib here. It tested it once, twice, three times, and the fourth time it's broken through. So if you do get a little correction in here, you could give it a go long, see how far it goes. But yeah, I'm more interested in the sell. Wherever this ends, I'm looking for a nice impulse down and a corrective, bearish correction, and then I'll look for a sell. EG, right at the bottom of the market on the daily, like I've been mentioning, we're just looking for buys, but there is this possible flat on the H4 here as well that we've been looking at. We got these like three down, breaking the low. So I was looking at that A, B, C, possible flat here for another one down. Um, well, non-farm payroll, it was really taking off here, and I was thinking, non-farm payroll sort of changed. That flat may play out now. So if you got something corrective in here, you could look to sell to go and break the low. Other than that, you've got to be careful because this still can be one, two, three. We get a wave four in here and a wave five up. We do have a bull hidden here already. So yeah, you got to wait for a nice correction in here if you're going to look for that sell. If it gives you a buy setup like this, impulse up and a buy setup, well, you can look to go and break that top for 5 up. You just got to wait to see what sort of correction it gives. Ideally, it gives that bearish correction, H4 bearish correction plays out and it goes and breaks the low again. And then we get a better entry for the buy, longer term buy. WTI on the daily, I've had this on here for ages. I've started taking these arrows off, but we're looking for this and that, and um, you know, I'm looking at like 1, 2, 3 here. Ideally, this goes and breaks that low, and then we get an A, B, C, A, B, C, and then a larger C up, and then a larger C down. Starting to become very choppy. And like I mentioned last week as well, you have to be careful because this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and we get another fifth wave up in here. And we get some sort of an ending diagonal in this A, B, C wave. At this stage, it looks like it's trying to close the gap from the start of the week. Um, and there is a bear hidden here as well, So, you know, if you got to sell, I mean, you're really only just scalping this pair at this stage. You could look for a sell to go and break that low. You got that bear hidden there. If it looks corrective in here and you get a bearish setup, you could look for a sell, and then I'd be looking for a buy. You know, for a possible wave 5 up to break that top, and then I'd be looking for a sell. Basically, what the arrows are on the higher time frame. Gold right at the top of the market on the daily. We're only looking for sells up here, and eventually this will fall over. So it hasn't been giving us any buy setups. Um, sorry, it hasn't been. It's just been giving buy setup. It hadn't been giving us sell setups, and even now, it's still very risky. Even though we have this bearish, impulse down, we have a bull hidden here. So you've got to be very careful. This can just give you. I mean, there was a bearish setup in here Friday, but if we get 3 down in here without this low getting broken or this low here getting broken, and we just get 3 down in here, this can be some sort of a flat here, a larger flat here, and we get more upside. So you have to be really careful now. If I just go down to the M15, I mean, this was the correction for the impulse. This was the impulse, and this is a correction of that impulse. Um, so if you really want to learn how we trade, you really have to join the group. This is the ideal setup to get into this, but if you're not already in it, you can't just get in it down here. It's already nearly gone and broken the low. So the only thing you can really do now if you're not in it on the sell is, well, see how far this goes and say it just comes down, breaks that low. Well, then if it gives you a nice impulse up, well, then you could look for that flat I just showed to go and break the top. Or else you're looking for a wave 5, looking to trade a wave 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll trade a wave 5 down. So at this stage, I mean, if you're not in it, you're not in it, and you pretty much have to sit on the sideline still. Silver's pretty much similar. This one, we got the 5 up. It got to the first target. We got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up. There is still a chance it can get to that second target. But yeah, we got 5 up in here as well. Like I said, I don't care if people look at it like this as like an A, B, C in here, and then you get A, B, C, or you look at it as like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Both are fine. The thing I look at is here. There's no bearish divergence. We lost the bearish divergence in this, so I'm sort of just looking for a larger correction in here. and we can get another one up to that second target, that 161.8. At this stage on the lower time frames, it's a sell. It was. Um, this shouldn't be there. We were looking for a fifth one up in here, like one, two, three, four, and a fifth one up. We never got that. That's why this is like that. So this should be like this. Now, still is a possible flat there. Until this low here gets broken, it's going to be very difficult. Well, it becomes risky to sell because there's that possible wall hidden here. But at this stage, I'd be looking at some sort of like one, two, three, wait for a wave four, and then you could trade a wave five down. That's pretty much all you can do at this stage. And then if it gives you a bullish setup, well, then you could look for buys. Daily, like I've been saying for a long time, this is very similar to CAD, USD CAD. We got that one, two, three, four. I was looking for that fifth one to go from here. It didn't. Instead, we got that long drawn out correction. H4, we're looking for it to go and break that top, that daily top. It was very difficult. I don't really want to go over it all again because, but the thing is, this was your buy setup here after these three down. That was your buy setup. And then you'd be looking to add here, like in this, like one, two, three, four. You'd be looking for that fifth wave up to add to your position. And then you'd probably be out of it now because you'd have five up. There is no, I mean, there's a ball hidden here as well on the H1. So that's what I'd be looking at. Oh, I should have. Um, so we got sort of one, two, three, four. We get a fifth one up in here. We do have a ball hidden on this time frame as well. There is no buy setup. Even on the lower time frames, there's no buy setup in here. Um, you know, so you have to be careful. There is five down though. You got that one, two, three, four, five down. I believe it's broken the low. I'll just double check. Yeah, it has broken the low. So we do have five down. If you get a bullish setup in here, you can look for a buy. Just to go and break the top, and you're buying at the top of the market. As soon as that daily top gets broken, you want to be careful. S&P 500 right up the top of the market as well. Only looking for sells. All the bearish divergence on the H4, H1, all that bearish divergence. You know, this was very difficult because we had that one, two, three, wave four, wave five down. It's this was a larger correction, of course. There was an A, B, C in here, very choppy, larger correction. This was looking very corrective though for that. If you're not in that again, you really got to stay out of the market now. You've missed the trade. You'd be going right down onto the lower time frames, looking for some sort of a bear hidden or something like that, and then you'd be trading in that direction. You can see what I was looking at over here, like one, two, three, one, two, three. It either just goes from here or it falls over. It fell over. Should have taken all that off, but you can see in here we're getting a bear hidden in here. So if you got, I mean, it's very risky if you're inexperienced and you can't see this sort of stuff yourself. I wouldn't be trading a little correction in here to go and sell to break that low. But you know, if I was looking to trade this pair, that's what I'd be doing at this particular point in time, looking to scout that down. Uh, AU 200, we're looking for this larger C down. H4, I mean, this was perfect in here last week. I said, this is very bearish in here. It actually played out pretty much exactly how I was looking at it last week. I said, I think we're in here. We had these three down in here. And we're in here somewhere, and I said, you've got to be very careful because we can get that fifth one down. That's what happened, and then we'll go and break that top. I wasn't convinced that this correction was over until this top was over. And then it come up, broke that top, and then, then you look for the sell. Your sell's in here. So again, if you're not in it, you're pretty much staying out of it. Now, the only thing you could look for is, well, the only thing I would be looking for now is a bear hidden here. And we do have a possible bear hidden, but you need the correction in here, something to sell. And if you're looking to sell for the bear hidden, you got to be careful because it may just be 1, 2, 3 down. But if it's just 1, 2, 3 down, usually you can get it to break even, and goes up, takes you out, break even, goes breaks the top, and the bear hidden doesn't play out. But that's what I'd be looking at on AU 200. The FTSE, this is still looking very bullish here. Overall, we were looking for this, this in here to sell last week, like 1, 2, 3 in here. Now, it may go up and break the top. We were saying last week, this is very choppy. We got a nice impulse up. We're looking for 3 down, and then if we get a buy set up, we can buy. So it pretty much played out how I was looking at it last week. Now we're just looking for this over here, in here somewhere. If we get a buy set up, you can look for a buy to just go and break the top. Yeah. And you've got to go down onto the lower time frames, which I can't really do in these videos because, the videos will take too long. But you got to be careful of this as well. 1, 2, 3, you get some sort of a correction in here for a wave 4, and then you get a wave 5 down. There is no bullish divergence, so you can still get a wave 4 and a fifth wave down yet before you can look for that buy. Looking at the DAX, right at the top of the market on the daily too, with all that bearish divergence, you've got to be careful buying. At any time it can fall over. But, we got all the bearish divergence on the H4 as well, but this can be a flat here, like I showed last week. I mean, it was very bearish in here, like I showed last week on the lower time frames, and you got that. It's pretty much very similar to the FTSE. So, we're looking at this last week, for a sell. It was a very obvious sell. We've got 3 down now. So is it going to give away 4 and a fifth one down, or is it just going to give you the 3 down in here and it gives you a bullish setup in here? Well, if it gives you a bullish setup, you can look for it to go and break that top, but you have to be careful again. It may just be an A, B, C, and that's all you get, and then it comes down, takes you out, break even, or you get a few pips out of it and comes down, breaks the low. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share, and subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.